All right guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be testing the chipping and putting from the new Flightscope Mevo Gen 2 that was just released. We're testing chipping and putting because historically radar launch monitors have had trouble with shorter putts and chips, sometimes even putting at all. And hopefully we'll see some improvements over this new Flightscope launch monitor from the Mevo Plus. Now, I did talk to Flightscope and they said that we should see some improvements in this new model because of the shape. So compared to the Mevo Plus, this new Mevo Gen 2 stands up taller, which puts the camera at a higher position and allows it to see the ball on the ground a little bit better. First, I'm gonna show you my setup in here and make sure everything's transparent because setup can make a big difference in your accuracy that you get, especially from a radar launch monitor. And we're gonna show you the settings in GSPro that we're using to connect. Then we're gonna do some chipping, and in the second half, we're gonna do some putting, and we're gonna see how it works if you're interested in doing sim golf. First off, let me show you the user manual for the Gen 2 and just show you how that looks. That's important for the setup. Okay, so here is the user manual. You can see this page, the full swing setup looks just like the Mevo Plus. You need 8 feet between the radar and the tee, and you need a minimum of 8 feet to your hitting net or impact screen. And then outdoor, we're not doing today, but again, 8 feet tee to radar, and then ball flight forever. This is the page that I'm interested in. So you can see this is the preferred setup for putting. You can see for full swing shots, you've got that setup we just talked about here on the left. But then on the right, you can see the putting ball position is 7 feet from the radar instead of 8. So we're gonna be moving the ball backwards a foot closer to the radar when we putt. And then up here on number 1, aluminum stickers or RCT balls should not be used when putting. So we're gonna hopefully remember to switch out and not use that RCT ball when I go to the second half and do some putting. And then the last thing I want to point out in this is the same as the Mevo Plus, but it is best practice to keep the unit on the floor with a level surface between the radar and the tee. So basically think of everything being on one level surface. You can have a difference of up to 3 inches, but that is going to make it very, very, very difficult for especially putting. So if you can, get something to line up with your hitting mat so that you can place the radar on that. All right, real quick, I'm going to show you how I've got things set up here. Okay, so you can see I've got my hitting strip there. I've got about 11 feet from the middle of the hitting strip to the screen. And then as we go back, you can see that I've built a little runway that is the same height as my hitting mat. So I've got the Mevo Gen 2 right there at the back of it. That runway is about 2 feet by 6 feet, I believe. But then I do have the 8 feet from the radar to the ball on the hitting strip. Now also you can see in the corner there, I've got that white air conditioner vented out to outside of my garage. I have that turned off so that there's not any interference with the radar. So that is why I am sweating in my garage. And then you can see where my computer and computer monitor are placed. Hopefully those are far enough to the side away from the hitting strip that there won't be any interference. I don't think it should be an issue because it's not really in front of the view, I would not think. Now real quick, let's go into GSPro and I'll show you the settings into the connection window there. Okay, and here is my Flightscope connection window. You can see I'm connected. I've got tilt and roll in the green. In the settings, I did make some changes. I changed sensor to tee putting to 7 feet to match what the user manual said. I changed the ball tee to screen to 11 feet for my setup, and I changed the ball type to Titleist RCT, which is what I'm going to be using. I did add ghost shot protection because whenever I was setting things up, I was walking all over the hitting strip and I was getting some ghost shots. So I just went ahead and turned that on to hopefully help with that. For the camera, I've got it set up here, but you can see I've adjusted the elevation. That ball looks like it's lined up correctly. You can see I do have the radar lined up a little bit to the right of that ball. So hopefully whenever I putt to the right over here, everything will still be lined up. Should be good with that. And then we're gonna go back to general and turn on enhanced fusion tracking just to get the best accuracy that we can, hopefully. Okay, so we're in Central Park North, and let's just go ahead and drop the ball up there by the green. See what we got here. Let's get a little bit closer than that. Let's get like a 20, that'll work. 26-yard chip. We'll start from there and get a little bit closer. See how it goes. All right, make sure this is an RCT ball. Yes, it is. All right, 26-yard chip. We're a little bit uphill. I'm gonna play this to hopefully carry about 20 yards. Okay, carried about 18. A little bit left. Let's try that again. Maybe get a little more of it. Nope, same shot. Everything seems good so far. It was kind of, yeah, not good. Almost a shank. It might have been a little bit chunky, but I got it higher. So far, everything I'm seeing, I think, has been me, not the radar. The radar's not showing me anything that I'm not feeling. That was the cleanest one that I caught and definitely carried the farthest. All right, let's move up a little bit. Let's go about 15 yards. So 15 yards, I would think that I'd want to carry this about halfway. So about a 7-yard chip. That carried 8. And that was the right distance. Might be a little long. Yep. Hit it. Okay, those two, not showing me anything that I'm not feeling. Another one a little long. All right, last one here, and we'll get even closer. That one carried about 7. So with all of those, that definitely matched what I was feeling. Some were a little short, some were a little long, felt all of that. I don't think this pin is gonna work. So let's go to a different hole and see if we can get a little bit closer. This one looks like it might work. Let's get right up there. That's pretty close. That should work. So we're 7 yards away. We're gonna wanna carry this halfway or less. So maybe 3.5 yards. And that's gonna be basically right at the bottom of my impact screen. So this ball should land right at the bottom of my impact screen and we'll see what happens. Landed about a foot short. Oh no! We got a no read. Okay, let's give it another try. And that one landed right at the bottom of the screen. And obviously we got a read. Let's keep trying this one. Yep. That one landed maybe a foot short of the screen. So I don't know about that first one. That seemed pretty similar. Yep. Right before the screen. There we go, we hold one. I mean, that one, very similar to the first one, I think. I'm not sure what happened on that first one, but. So from here, I'm not gonna move. Let me just try and hit these shorter and shorter. So we'll try to land this one, maybe about a tad shorter than all those. Oh. Yeah, I kind of bladed that one, so it never really got off the ground. And we got another no read. I'll try that again. Okay, that was a little more of a normal chip. It landed, I think, about here, which is about at least 3 feet short of the screen. Better quality chip. Let's try that again. Yep, that one was pretty good. Let's go shorter and shorter. Let me just try and actually just give this a little bump, almost like a putting motion with a wedge. Okay. We did get a read, carried 1.1 yards, and I'd say that's probably about right. Just over 3 feet, somewhere right about there maybe. Let's try it again. Again, just a little bump. This is a 58-degree wedge. That one I missed. Yep. Looks like we're starting to have issues when we're trying to hit chips that are carrying short of my impact screen, so inside of 10 feet. It is working sometimes, and when it does work, it seems to be accurate. Yep, those don't seem to be working. All right, last one here that I'll try, and then we'll probably try some flop shots. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a delay. Really thought that one was gonna read, and it eventually did. Looks like inside of that 9-foot range of a carry, it is starting to struggle a little bit. All right, let's try a flop shot where the ball goes straight up quickly. Actually, let's just drop it in the bunker. same idea. Got my club face open. Hopefully I don't break anything in the garage. Okay, well, read that one, no problem. Let's hit a few more. Club face open, 16-yard bunker shot. All right, last one. These bunker shots are pretty unpredictable. On any launch monitor I hit, there's so many factors with the lie in the sand, the spin, and how I hit it. It's hard to tell how far they're gonna carry and all that. So I pretty much just go by feel all the time. Whoops. There you go. Didn't get under that one. Kind of launched it too far. Let's try the last one. Yeah, all of these bunker shots reading no problem. I think that pretty much covers it for chipping. Let me switch over to putting and we'll see what happens here. All right, for putting, I like to use the Galactic Practice Green by TechBud. It might be on his Patreon, I'm not positive, but you'll see in a second. This is a perfect practice area for putting. Everything is a completely flat putt, and you've got distances that just get longer and longer for every hole. So it's starting me off at 5 feet, which is probably gonna be the hardest for the Mevo Plus to read. The shorter it is, but we will increase from there. So let me make sure and switch out so I don't use an RCT ball for this. And we are gonna be moving the ball back 1 foot closer to the radar. So I guess we're starting with a 5-footer. Let's see how it goes. All right, it's my RCT ball. Let me put this away. And here's a regular ball. And back a foot should be about right there. Stimp is set at 11, which is what I normally use. Didn't get a read. Let's try it one more time, just keeping everything the same. It's definitely rolling 5 feet. Let me move this farther to the right, moving the ball farther to the right, still staying at about 7 feet. This time I'm actually off of my hitting strip, just off of it. And we got a read. Okay, so maybe I had it a little bit too close to the center of that hitting strip. This rolled out, I've got about maybe 3.5 feet to the screen. So that might have rolled about 9 feet, something like that. Let's just try everything exactly the same there. I am just off of my hitting strip. Let me try and roll this truly 5 feet. Nope, no read. Okay, let me try it again. Let me try and go longer, that actual 9-foot roll. Nope. Maybe this time, instead of moving it to the right at all, I'll just put it right in the center of my strip. Still moving it back a foot, but this time I just haven't moved it left or right. It's just right in the center of the hitting strip. Nope. Let's go back to the right here. Let me just hit it harder. I've got about a foot left to the screen, so that probably did roll 11 feet. Getting nothing. Let's try it again. Roll it all the way to the screen. Nothing. Let me go back to the inside right of the hitting strip, not outside of it, so not as far right. Try it again. Can we just get a reading here? Nothing. Nothing. All right, back outside to the right. I got one to read, so what happened there? Outside to the right here. What's going on? Maybe I should go to a longer putt so I don't have to worry about the speed. Here's a 50-foot putt. I'll just figure out where on the mat I'm getting reads. So we're starting inside right of my hitting strip. Not sure what that view was, but hey, I got a good distance there. That's promising. Let's try it again. 50 feet. Speed's pretty good there. Horizontal launch angle coming out 1.7 to the left. This looks good. Let's go shorter. Let's go to 35 feet. That's going to be short, but it read it. See if I can get the speed right with this. Again, all of these that are reading, I've been on the inside right of my hitting mat, still a foot back. Would have thought that one would have rolled farther, and everything does seem to be coming out negative 2.4 to the left. Let's give it one more try at this distance. Yeah, leaving that way short, but everything's reading, so that's good. Maybe that's me leaving it short, very likely. Let's go to 25 feet. Got a read, it's on its way. It's about the right speed. I think honestly, I might be pulling these putts, which is why they're all ending up left, because I've got the ball farther to the right, so maybe that's in my head. Yep, that one came out to the right. All right, 25 feet, doesn't seem to be a problem. Let's go lower. Let's go 15 feet. Remember, I've got about, from where I'm putting, about 12 feet to the screen. Got a read. Man, 5 degrees left, wow. I like that everything's reading. 15 feet. Now the other thing that just occurred to me is that I'm seeing the ball usually turn left whenever it gets closer to my screen. I believe there might be some slope in my surface there. And of course, this is reading the roll, and so maybe that is why everything is showing up left on GSPro, which if that is true, that means that you really need to have a level and smooth surface all the way to your screen, which I've got turf. I'm in my garage, so it's not 100% level, but if that is what is the case, that would be good to know. Let's go shorter. Let's go 10 feet. So this should stop before my screen. Hey, we got a read. Got a lot of bounces too off the hitting strip there. Now, for those of you that are saying the putting speed in your simulator is not the same as it is in here, actually it's as close as it can get. I've used my GCQuad to match the stimp in here using a stimp meter, and it's about 11 in here, so I generally always play with 11 on GSPro, and with GCQuad it is perfect, and I've even got it dialed in with the ProTee VX as well. So I do know that I can match up the distances from 11 feet in to how it rolls out here using those launch monitors. So here we go, 10 feet. Hey, I'm glad I'm getting reads. That looked pretty accurate. That stopped about a foot before my screen. Let's try another 10 footer. Not making any, but it just occurred to me, I don't know if you guys can see too well. Go back to the screen recording here just for one or two more. That one's a little harder. That went all the way under my screen there. All right, back to 5 feet. Let's see what happens now that I confirmed that it's reading everything from the same spot I'm hitting it at. Can we get it to work? Worked once. Oh, we got a read. Now I hit that way more than 5 feet. That was at least 8. No read. Okay. Now I hit that one pretty hard. That one probably went around 11 feet. It stopped right before my screen about a foot, which you can actually see in this camera. So guys, that's it. I pretty much just set it up as well as I could following the instructions. You saw my setup. You guys be the judge. Let me know what you think. My personal opinion, I think the chipping works really well for about 90 to 95% of the chips that you're gonna see while playing around. The putting, it looked like it was okay. Obviously, the biggest struggle was at 5 feet. Even 10 feet performed okay, but a little bit to figure out with the horizontal launch angle. You saw everything on mine was pretty much always coming out left. Of course, that could be me, but it also could be alignment, and it could be the surface that I have having a little slope to the left, if that's the case. So a lot of variables there. It probably is going to be hard to make a lot of putts when you're limited to 10 feet out and you've got all those variables to kind of figure out with having alignment perfect and perfect putting surface and all of those things. So that's my 2 cents. Guys, I hope this video was helpful. If you are looking for a Mevo Plus or Mevo Gen 2, definitely check out the link in the description down below and in the comments. You can save some additional money. The Flightscope Mevo Gen 2 is currently at an introductory price, and when they run out of that initial inventory, the price will be going up probably by several $100s. If this is something that you're interested in, definitely use that discount code. And it will also work for face impact location and Pro package if you already have a Mevo Plus. So if you're looking to add those things, you can save some money with that discount code as well. That's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.